Good evening. Before we begin, as you can see, I am clearly not Hank Lodge. I am Scott, Hank's oldest son. Due to an issue with his voice that can at times make it hard to understand him, Dad has asked me to deliver this speech on his behalf. My dad wrote his speech with a length that should fit within the 5-minute allotted time asked by the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame Induction Committee. That's basically just his way of saying that if it goes long, it's my fault. So, good evening to his fellow recipients, our new mayor, Jeff Caggiano, fellow board members of the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame, and the Bristol community at large. Before I begin my dad's remarks, at his request, let me take a few moments to introduce his own personal Hall of Fame. Starting at the top of the lineup is our mom and his trophy wife, Joan. Please congratulate them. Please congratulate them as they are celebrating 55 years of marriage tonight. Does our dad know how to deliver an anniversary present? Free dinner at the DoubleTree with 350 of their closest friends. Congratulations and happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. Continuing, we are joined by my brother, Attorney Tim Lodge, my wife, Lisa, and our sons, Mikey, Ryan, and Steve. Dad would like to acknowledge two key members of the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame, co-founders Bob Montgomery and 2016 inductee Bernie O'Keefe. Their tag team approach and persistence led to us being here tonight. Dad thanks them both for their support and their belief in his contributions to the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame. Dad has two stories about coming to Bristol and joining the board of the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame that he'd like me to share. The first was in the fall of 1969. While living in Hartford, he and Mom decided to give up apartment living in favor of home ownership. Now, where to settle was the question. At that time, he worked for Connecticut Bank and Trust in their computer room. Some of you longtime Bristol residents might remember the Roman family. Walt and Verge, the parents of Don, who along with 1999 Hall of Fame inductee Bob Watson, coached the 1975 Little League World Series team from Forestville, and his brother George. George was a supervisor in the computer room and knew that Dad was searching for a home. George asked him to consider moving to Bristol. Now, please take no offense, but Dad asked George, "Where's Bristol?" Ultimately, Dad heeded his advice. Mom and Dad never looked back. It's their belief that they could not have chosen a better community to raise their boys, and I definitely agree. Dad has often said that he wished he was raised in Bristol and had the opportunity to play and compete with its many athletes. As for the second story, in 2002, Dad saw a write-up in the Hartford Courant that Lindy Remigino, 1952 Olympic gold medal winner and longtime Hartford public track coach, had been thinking for years of creating a wall of fame, but could just not get it going. As a member of the 1962 HPHS class himself, Dad met with Lindy in his home. While there, he got to hold the gold medal, but not Lindy's pride and joy. That would be Lindy's medal given to him by Frank Sinatra. I wouldn't let you hold that either. It's pretty simple. After that meeting, Dad told Lindy that he would help him get this off the ground. Additionally, after that meeting, one thing obvious to Dad was that Lindy needed some volunteers with business acumen. Needing a treasurer, Dad's immediate choice was Jack Hines, class of 1956. Dad approached Jack with the words, "Jack, how about you joining my HPHS board?" After accepting, Jack let some time go by, and then at one of the HPHS meetings, Jack took Dad aside and asked, "Hank, how about you joining my board at the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame?" Dad will be forever grateful for Jack's faith and trust in him. Thank you, Jack. Looking back, Jack asking Dad to join the Hall was a surprise, since he had no clue that there was a Bristol Hall of Fame. This request to join was 8 years after Bristol began their organization with its co-founders, John Fortunato and Bob Montgomery. So between not knowing where Bristol was and not knowing the Hall of Fame, you needed to get out more. In closing, Dad would like to acknowledge that he was also a consultant to Northwest Catholic in helping get their Hall of Fame off the ground. Dad was also a founding father of the Hartford Public Athletic Hall of Fame. He mentions those because, in Dad's opinion, the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame is one of a kind in its uniqueness. He believes this because while other Halls of Fame showcase their athletes, the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame directors have made it a point to be community-minded, asking what can we do for the youth of Bristol in keeping its sports heritage alive. Dad would kindly ask, if you wanted to learn more about Bristol sports heritage, please visit bshof.org and view the many scrapbooks, inductees, historical game video, leadership council, scholar athletes recognition dinner, yearly newsletters, and so much more. Dad would also like to thank 4 directors, starting off with Rookie of the Year, Sarah Larson, for joining our board and making Dad look like he knows what he's doing. No small feat. Thank you, Sarah. Next are the Tom and Tom duo. The kid, Tom Monahan Jr., and Tom Mazzarella, who make us look professional. Lastly, Dad would like to thank his co-chair, Bob Callett, for consistently committing himself 100% for the betterment of our Hall of Fame. Thank you, Bob. Any last words?
Thank you all for coming out and supporting our efforts, and have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening.